record because I'm really excited to have Rachel on tonight, but welcome everyone to the SuccessFit team call. It is October 14th, and I'm going to share my screen. Make sure I'm sharing the right one. And as I said, I'm really pumped to have Rachel Wilber on tonight to talk to us about keys to success, or sort of her keys to success, the things to do. And her team is Team Fit to Shine, and some of them are joining us tonight, which is really awesome. So welcome, Fit to Shiners who are here. Of course, quick recognition. I just wanted to run through. We've got some great people already like hitting Success Club and some over 300 volume, which is always really key. But I wanted to make sure to shout out to Erica, who I know this is her first month as a coach, and she's already hit Success Club, which is really great. And also to Rachel Harvey, who just was, I think without really intending to, is in her first challenge group as a new coach and just sold her first challenge pack today. So there's some really exciting things happening out there. I know Trish is also a new coach who's hit Success Club 10. So everyone's moving along and growing. And it's very exciting to see. Just quickly announcements. I know we talked about it last week, but a reminder that the promotions this month are the 21-day fix, regular extreme, as well as body beast. So don't forget to take advantage of those. I always make sure, just on a quick tip, to during these months where the 21-day fix and 21-day fix extreme are on promotion, I always make sure to message every single person who's ever been in a 21-day fix challenge group with me to let them know about the promotion, because to see if maybe if they've fallen off the Shakeology wagon, to ask if they're wanting some more, because they can get the extreme on for just $11 when ordering, and it usually ends in a couple of good challenge pack sales for me. So that's a great way to leverage that one. A reminder that Super Saturday is this Saturday, so make sure you're going to one. In Toronto, it's Super Sunday, so make sure you've signed up. If you don't know how to find the one closest to you, let me know at the end, and I'll point you in the direction of that and in your Coach Online office, but you can always search your FAQ. Just for my team, there is the sneak peek to coaching is kicking off on Monday. So if you have people that you want to invite to that, make sure you message me so that I can add you to the group and do so. I did announce the October competition this week, which was kind of exciting, lots of fun swag. And I forgot that I'll be getting the P90X, the couple P90X program series. So those will be up for grabs as well. But remember to grab a partner, and if both of you guys move up in rank this month, then you'll get to choose from swag. And I did find I have a full 21-day fix program and a full PIO program as well. So lots of good stuff in there. Oh, now I'm looking at this team topics. I'm like, what was my point here in the team topics? Make sure that you edit, if there's training that you want, that you edit that document I posted in SuccessFit, and you put in the topic that you want to learn on. Because I know that there's, a lot of great general motivation that we can get out of these team calls, but I want to make sure we're really dialing into some strategic learning. So if there's a topic that you want to learn about or you're struggling with, make sure you update that document, and we'll get training on that. And I also posted the new coach training. So direct your new coaches to the training that is now pinned in SuccessFit. Okay, so that's it for announcements, except to remind that those of you in the 2015 Diamond group, someone's signing on. Make sure that you guys stay on after. All right, I'm going to pass it over to the amazing Rachel Wilber, who is one of my success partners and a one-star diamond. And she got via a computer. Hang on, I'm going to mute whoever is in here.
You are in the Zoom meeting now. There are over 10 participants.
There we go. Hopefully you can still hear me. Yes. Okay, so yeah, Rachel's a one-star diamond. She went quickly to diamond in 4 months. And we were talking this week, and, Rachel was saying how it took her like 2 months to kind of almost get to emerald. And so she got there really, really quickly to diamond after that. So if you have questions at the end, make sure that you're taking notes and that you ask those questions. And she's one of the top coaches in the Fierce Fit Phenomenon, which is a huge network, about 1,500 coaches now. And her team is Team Fit to Shine. So welcome, Rachel. I'm so excited to have you. I'm going to stop my screen share and pass it over to you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm so honored to be talking to you guys tonight. I'm really excited to share what I can with you. You know, I still feel like I'm brand new at this. I feel like a lot of the things that I did in the beginning, I felt like I was just flying by the seat of my pants. But it has been cool to kind of stop at this juncture, you know, coming up to the end of the year and look back and just really kind of get dialed in on what I was doing that worked and what I was doing that was not working. And so hopefully I'll have some good tips that will help you guys. Bria, do you want me to do my story first or my points, or do you care?
Yeah, no, take it away, but it is always nice to learn a little bit about you.
Okay, so I joined as a coach in the end of June last year. So this calendar year is like my first full year. When I signed up with Emma, I think my story of joining is a little different than most people. A lot of people join because they're a challenger and then they fall in love with it. They've got a great transformation and they decide to coach. For me, I was already looking for something like this, and I just wasn't sure what that was going to look like. But when I jumped in, I very much jumped in for the business opportunity and also for the health and wellness benefits, of course, to myself also. But I was previously to doing this, I was a lawyer. I was a public defender. So I was working, a public defender is like someone who gets hired by the county to represent people charged with crimes who can't afford lawyers. So we are basically like thrown in, sink or swim, and we get an insane caseload. When I was working in misdemeanor courtrooms, I would have like 100 cases easily every day on calendar. And I would just be like, I just felt like I was constantly like in the spin cycle. And it was really fun for a while. It was really like one of those jobs where there's a lot of adrenaline and it's really exciting. And I was really proud of what I did, but I started to, as the years, I did it for 5 years, and every year got a little more difficult as the cases got more serious. So it went from kind of being fun and exciting to more like serious and not so fun, the more serious cases I was given. And what happened to me just as a person, as that was happening, like I was pretty good at it. I mean, I did feel like I was being recognized by a lot of my superiors by being like the new up and coming trial lawyer. And that was exciting and flattering, but also I started to feel really trapped, like because I was miserable. And I didn't want to admit that I was miserable because I felt like I worked so hard for this and how could I be miserable? I'm supposed to want to do this forever. And I really struggled with that for like a year, and I was doing basically back-to-back trials. So I ended up gaining like 15 pounds, which for me felt like a lot because I just also felt so unhealthy. I was like basically drinking like 10 cups of coffee in the morning, going to court and just doing this really intense job with a lot of negativity and stressful situations. And then just like getting off work, going straight to happy hour and like drinking wine with my friends, or like going straight home and drinking wine on the couch and like eating takeout. And so I was just, and then I would like not sleep all night because I'd be stressing out about work. So I started to just really crave like balance in my life. And I was finding myself just like spending my office hours in the afternoon, like not working and just reading like health and wellness blogs and just fantasizing about like a different life, like really craving just being able to do something that I was passionate about. And it got really bad to the point where I used to go to yoga all the time, and I actually had to stop going to yoga because it stirred up these feelings in me of wanting to do something different, something like be a yoga teacher or be connected to health and wellness and have more vitality in my life. And I couldn't see the bridge of how to get there. And so yoga would just depress me because I just felt so stuck. So I eventually, in January of last year, I decided to just like take a leap of faith. I found this online health coaching school, and I just realized like it's now or never. Part of also the backdrop of why I decided to leave my job is that we were trying to get pregnant. I've been married to my husband for almost 3 years. We started to try like right away because I was 35 when we got married, and it just wasn't happening. And I kind of deep down was like, okay, I'm not going to get pregnant if I'm living this way. Like I'm just under way too much stress all the time. My body's constantly like coursing with adrenaline, and I'm not living healthy. And so this might be my only chance, to get pregnant. And if I don't leave my job and change my lifestyle, I will always regret it, because I would never know for sure if my infertility was related to my situation with my job. So So anyways, all those factors combined, and I just like took a leap of faith and cashed out my retirement so that I would have 9 months of money to live on, and decided to do this health coaching program and just strike out on my own and see what I could do. So that's the place that I was at when I decided to become a Beachbody coach. I was kind of thinking that I was going to do individual health coaching, but I wasn't really sure what that was going to look like. And as I was doing it one-on-one with people, I was kind of, I don't know, it didn't feel like it was totally the right fit. So meanwhile, I was following Emma, my coach, Bria, and my coach, and just was intrigued by her and the lifestyle that she was living, like living free, not having to answer to anybody, and being able to make a decent amount of money. And especially because I had worked so hard to be a lawyer, I wanted to find something where I was going to be able to have financial success. So I didn't want to throw that away, given the fact that I'd borrowed like $100,000 to get my degree. So anyways, that's how I jumped in. I was really skeptical of it. I thought that all network marketing stuff was for sure a big scam, and that I didn't want to look like an idiot for like being interested in it. So for a while, I just kind of followed Emma and was like hiding. I didn't even want to like any of her stuff. And then she did send me a message once or twice after I liked some stuff, and I just like totally ignored her because I just figured she was some sort of like scam artist. I just was like really skeptical. So anyways, I finally ended up obviously connecting with her and talking with her and jumping in with both feet. So I think that I'm telling you all that background because I think we all come into this with a different mindset about where we want to take it and what we want to do. And some of the reason for me going quickly in the beginning is probably because I came in knowing that I wanted to make this a lucrative business. And that was my mindset from day one. So some of you like jump in and feel like maybe it's going to be a hobby, maybe it'll be a business, and you're not sure, and that's totally okay too. But what I wanted to convey was that once you make the decision that it is going to be something that you're all in for, then there are certain things that you need to do to make that happen, like to make things move at a rate where you're not getting stuck and frustrated. I'm so sorry. This always happens with my dogs. Let me shut the door. Hey! No. Bria knows every time I get on any kind of a Zoom, the dogs go ballistic and start making all kinds of noise. So my decision of going all in was from day one, and maybe yours hasn't even come yet. Maybe you're still not sure, but maybe you did decide that you're all in, but things aren't moving at the way that you want them to move or whatever. But when you make that decision, there's certain things that you need to do. So anyways, now, so I jumped in. I did make Diamond in 4 months. There were certain things that I did to make that happen. I was also really motivated by going to the leadership retreat in Utah that Emma offered us last year. And I think that's important to touch on because I am going to talk about going to events and how important that is. But yeah, I went Diamond in 4 months. I've been Diamond since November, so almost a year now. And I am 1-star lifetime, but I currently don't have an active Diamond. But I have lots of team members who are so close to Diamond and some really great leaders who are up and coming. So I'm really proud of what's happened since I joined 16 months ago. It just feels like it's been such a blessing in my life. It's to just know that this is real, and that I think when I hit Diamond and I was able to go to the leadership retreat and connect with the other coaches, that's when it really clicked for me that this is a real and it's a legit business opportunity that is going to change my life and that it's worth sticking with it. So if you are wondering why it's worth it to get to Diamond, or if you want to, or, I do think that things change kind of dramatically in the sense that you feel much more connected and you have options to be invited to more trainings, and you just kind of get a different feeling around your business, that you're a true leader and that you're connected with other leaders in the corporation, and it kind of becomes more exciting that way. At least it did for me. So that's my story. So I put together some tips. This is from a call that I did with my team back in May. So let me just share my screen really quick. Okay. So I called this Show Up to Go Up because I think that probably the one thing that I think is more important than anything else, if you really want to take this business seriously, is that you show up. And then there's different ways of showing up. And I kind of picked the areas where I think it's most important to be present and showing up on a regular basis if you want this to work. And I put this picture here. This is from the leadership retreat that I was talking about last January. And this was my first time to meet the other coaches on the Fierce Fit phenomenon and to feel connected and recognized for achieving Diamond. It was so, so amazing. It really made me feel like part of a community. And that I think is one of the best benefits of Beachbody coaching for me, is just the friendships that I've made and the connections and having such a positive community. Because I can tell you that it was fun being a public defender, and there's a lot of crass humor and dark jokes and but it was such a different kind of connection. It was like connecting around darkness and tragedy and gossip and competitiveness. And this is like totally coming into the light and having this community of people who are positive and supportive. And so that's really valuable to me. So the number one place that you need to show up if you're going to make this work is to show up for yourself. And so I put "say what" on there because a lot of us are like so used to showing up for everyone else before ourselves, especially, I mean, I'm not a mom, but I know that moms show up for their kids first, no matter what. And so I think as a mom, you probably tend to put yourself on the back burner. And even I do that with my other family members and my dogs and like my friends. And as women, we're kind of programmed to take care of everybody else before yourself. But if you want to make this business work, it's so, so, so important to put yourself as a number one priority. Because if you don't, you're just not going to be motivated to do the things that you're inviting people to join you in. You're not going to feel that fire in you. You're not going to be enthusiastic or motivated. So you have to do that first so that you can bring that energy to your conversations. So getting your workouts in, obviously, personal development. The longer I'm doing this job, the more important I'm realizing that personal development is, because there is nobody among us who can wake up feeling positive and confident 100% of the time and all day long. Like, it's just not possible. Like, our world is kind of negative and people complain, and it's so easy to pick up on that energy, and it's so easy to compare yourself to others and to just feel insecure. And we're all going to go through times where we feel confident, and we're going to go through times where we feel like crap, And so personal development can literally change your attitude in 10 minutes. And so it's just so important to give yourself that little just tune up, that mental tune up before you take on inviting. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, there's no way I'm inviting today. I'm just not into it. I don't have anything to say. And then I just do 30 minutes of a podcast or whatever. And all of a sudden it's changed my whole day. And I feel totally confident and I feel more into it. And so give yourself that gift, like, you have the power to turn around your own attitude and your own confidence in literally 15 minutes just by doing whatever podcast you like. I really have been into The Charged Life by Brendan Burchard lately. They're super short. They're super great topics. And I don't know, that's my current go-to if I just need like a quick tune-up. Obviously, there's so many good choices. Drinking Shakeology, eating clean, getting enough sleep, seeking balance, setting work hours. That's still something I struggle with, but it's so important to honor your boundaries and your limitations, just how you would with a real job. Like, you're treating this like a job if you want this to be your business and if you want to go to Diamond and beyond. So you need to set yourself a schedule. And, at whatever job you worked previously, well, unless it was like the job I had where I took work home all the time, but generally you go home from work and that's your time to be off. So make sure you give yourself that, even though you are working from home. So the next thing you need to show up for is you need to show up in your own vision. So like, what I mean by this is it's really important to show up every day for your big, scary daydream and actually see yourself in that big, scary daydream and know why you're doing this. And whatever your biggest, craziest goal is, whether it's like speaking on stage at Summit or making Elite or like making it to the leadership conference or, having a team of 100 coaches or whatever it is, like picture it and make it specific and just think about it for a couple minutes every day. Just think about how awesome it's going to feel when you get to that place. Because the more you connect with that future self, the more that future self is going to reach back in time and sort of pull you along, if that makes sense. I love that visual of pulling myself forward from that moment in time that I know is going to happen. Maybe I don't know exactly when it is, but I know I'm going to hit Elite. Maybe it won't be this year. Maybe it'll be next year. I hope it's going to be this year. But I know it will happen. And that person, that feeling of hitting Elite, like that person is pulling me along as I'm like on days when I don't feel like working. So yeah, like, what does it look like? What are you wearing? Where are you? What is your life like? And then break it down in time. So reverse engineering your goals. Like, what's your big, scary, crazy goal? What's realistic for you in terms of how long it's going to take you to get there? And that's going to be different for all of us. For me, I might be able to get there faster than other people who have a full-time job still, or who have kids. One of my coaches has 9 children, and she's showing up to team calls and doing stuff. So it just depends what your situation is, but make it realistic. Like, if it's going to take you 2 years, great. Like, just know that. If it's going to take you 1 year, great. Like, know that, and then break it down by half of that time and half of that and half of that. So you know where you need to be in a month and 2 months and 3 months to be on track to hit that goal. Okay, and then you need to show up in the lives of others. So you need to create value for those people around you, those prospects that you're talking to, your challengers. You need to be seeking out new friendships and connecting with people, not about Beachbody, just adding value to them, showing that you care about them, reaching out in a genuine way, and just creating connections. You need to show up for your friends and family, right? You don't want to leave your friends and family in the dust while you're like slaving away at all of your work stuff. You want to be that person who's living the lifestyle that you're doing this for. Like, I'm assuming most of us are doing this because we want a certain level of freedom, of time to connect with our friends and family. So don't let that slide for the sake of like overworking yourself, I guess is what I mean by that. Seek to serve others. So, for example, I'm sure that you guys have talked about this, but when you are inviting people to a challenge group, if that's not something they're able to do, make sure that you're offering them something else that's valuable. Even if it's just, a free group or just a tip, or like, hey, I'd love to stay connected to you. I know you have questions about food allergies, whatever I know about that, or whatever it is. Just offer to be their friend and to share your knowledge with them, regardless of whether they buy something. And that's what's going to build trust and get them to believe that you're a genuine person and that you care about them. Engage in random acts of kindness and be trustworthy with your words. So if you tell somebody that you are going to follow up with them in 3 months, then follow up with them in 3 months. If you tell someone you're going to send them a sample, send them a sample. So that kind of thing. And actually, to do that, sometimes for the business, you need to be tracking, which is this whole separate topic. But I know I've been guilty of telling people I'm going to do something in a really genuine intention and then forgetting because of being unorganized. So that's just another side note. Show up for events. So events will change your business. You guys have probably heard this a million times, but I just can't stress enough how true it is. Every single time that I show up, even on a Zoom or a one-on-one phone call, but especially to things like Super Saturday, Summit, all of those things make me feel reinvigorated, because we spend a lot of time in this business working alone, right? I mean, we're on social media and we're talking with people through social media, Facebook, maybe some in person, but we're doing a lot of it on our own. So, and we're often up against a lot of resistance. Like you might have a couple months where you're inviting a lot of people and you're just feeling like you're not getting any traction. So when you go to an event like this, you're surrounded by people who love Beachbody as much as you do. And it's such a refreshing feeling if you've been struggling, or if you've just had a lot of people who are questioning you a lot or skeptical. It's like you go and you just are reminded that, okay, there's all these people here who love this too. Meaning there's got to be tons more people who will love it. They're out there, and it kind of just reinvigorates you to go out and invite with confidence, because this is an awesome opportunity and the events are fun and exciting, and who wouldn't want to be a part of them? So if you're not on the Summit waitlist, make sure you get on it. Okay. And then you want to show up for your team. So especially if you are a new leader, you're not quite diamond yet, this might be something that you're like, how do I lead my team? I don't really know what I'm doing. And who wants to look up to me? Like, you need to start showing up as a leader for your team as soon as you have even one coach under you. Like, just embrace the mindset that you're going all the way with this and you are the leader of your team. And that's how it is. You're the CEO of your own business. You need to think like a business owner and lead by example. So leading by example is just doing all the things that we've already talked about, the vital behaviors. Make sure your team knows that you're doing those things. So create a Facebook page where you can be showing them that you're showing up for your business every day. Keep them informed about where you are with your Success Club points, where you are with your inviting. Just make sure that they know that you're leading from the front and you're working your business in the way that you want them to work their business, because they will do what you do. And I think I even heard that even your best coaches on your team will usually do about 75% of what you're doing. So you really do set the bar for what is expected in your team. And I've found that to be true on my team. I don't know if Bria's found that to be true, but I think they're looking to you to see what's the norm for Success Club points, what's the norm for volume, what's the norm for whether we do team calls or we have a Facebook page. They're going to follow your lead. So do those things. And then I really liked this graphic, the 4 levels of leadership, because I think this speaks a lot to how we transform into a leader. So starts with self-leadership. First of all, you have to believe in yourself, and making that decision can be actually like a long and complicated process, which doesn't have to be. But most of us, I think, have a moment where we kind of click over and we decide like, yeah, I can do this. But first, so once we decide that, then people who are watching us might get inspired and think like, well, they can do it, but I don't know if I can yet. So, and then motivation, others believe in themselves the way they believe in you. So eventually those people watching you, they're not going to think they can do it, but the longer they watch you, the more they might think like, well, maybe I can do it. Like, she seems normal. She seems approachable. I like the way she's doing that. It seems doable. I can do it. And then they start believing in each other the way they believe in themselves, meaning they start believing in those that are coming up underneath them. If I can do it, then so can they. And they realize like, yeah, like anybody could do this. And once you get to that level, it's cool because you realize like, yeah, this isn't that hard. Like anybody can do this, but it starts with believing in yourself. So wrap the right attitude around the right behaviors. So this just goes to like, yeah, you show up for your business, you work your vital behaviors every day, but you have to do it with the attitude that you are going to become that person in your big, scary vision. And that person in your big, scary vision is like right here on your shoulder, talking to you, encouraging you, and infusing your actions with the right attitude. Because every single day, those little things that you do, they just add way up over time. And then I think we've had this quote floating around in the Fierce phenomenon for a while, but I like it. Don't you ever hold someone else's future captive in your mouth. Meaning, don't decide for someone else if this opportunity is right for them. And if you shy away from inviting somebody because you're nervous what they're going to say, then you're deciding for them that it's not for them. And what if it is for them? Like, who are you to decide? So that's why I like that quote. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys.
That was so good, Rachel. Thank you. I really love listening to other people talk about things that I feel like it just always puts a different spin on it. And this was a really great concept of like showing up, because it's not just showing up to events, for example. It's like the whole concept of showing up for yourself first, and also showing up for your team, and showing up for your potential clients and just the value that you provide. So thank you for that. I really love, first of all, I hadn't really thought of the whole concept of 75% of what of your team only doing is about 75% of what you're doing. So watch out, guys. I'm going to step it up. But I really liked when you said wrap the right attitude around your behaviors. And it reminds me a lot of what Tara Carr said on the National Wake Up Call when she said, prosper where you are planted. Yeah. Everyone has a million things going on in their life, but you can always look at things in one of two ways, right? Like you can always look at things and say, I'm going to just make this the best situation that I can. I'm going to make it happen. Or you can say, no, I can't do it. Or I don't want to do it. Or, it's just not going to work for me. Like it really does come down to your attitude and your personality and your decision to how you're going to live your life. And if you really want it and you show up in that way that you've just talked about, it's amazing. And we've seen the amazing things that happen. So thank you.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions for Rachel? Now's the time. Unmute.
No.
Really? Not a one?
Oh,
Jody has one.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you. That was really great. What are your thoughts on discount coaches? I'm headed towards Diamond. Part of me wants to go back to customers that I've talked to before and ask them again about being a discount coach, but I also want to build a strong foundation. So I wonder how did you do it? Do you have a lot of discount coaches or just a few?
You know, that's a great question. And honestly, it's not something that I thought too hard about when I was shooting for Diamond. I was kind of like, I'll take anyone who will sign up. You know, that was how I approached it. And I think I got kind of lucky because I did get a couple people on each side that were interested in doing the business. And I know sometimes there's coaches who run up against having all discount coaches and then feeling stuck, like that's not a solid foundation. So I see both sides of that. And now looking back, I can see the wisdom in sort of building, you know, with builders. However, I also sort of think that, you know, you're not stopping at Diamond, right? Like the point, if you're making this your business, you're going to be onboarding coaches at a really regular rate. And so I don't discriminate against anybody. I just sign whoever's interested. And I do have a lot of discount coaches, but I will get 1 out of every 6 who's like interested in building, or 1 out of every 5. And so I kind of feel personally like as long as I'm just signing coaches regularly, every 3rd or 4th or 5th one is going to be interested in building it, at least to some degree.
So
I don't know that that's necessarily the best answer. Other coaches might have a different perspective, but you know, who knows? Maybe as I continue to grow, I'll be a little more discerning. But yeah, I think that when you hit Diamond, you do have more access to things that you want to get access to as quickly as possible. Like once you're Diamond, you can be on the Diamond Zooms, you can be on mastermind Zooms with corporate, and you're going to get a lot more training that way. And so maybe not worrying about it so much until you're already past that point is what I would suggest. Because I think the sooner the better. I think the longer you stay stuck between Emerald and Diamond, the more frustrating it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that was a good answer, Rachel. I just wanted to, I feel like I've gone in and out of my feelings on that one. So I just wanted to touch in quickly because lately I have really felt solidified in recognizing that what we're doing here is building a tribe of lifers, of people that want to live a healthy and fulfilling life in whatever way that is. And so I think you shouldn't be inviting every single person in every single challenge group to be a coach, whether it is to be a discount, a hobby, or a career coach, because you really are trying to build a network of people around you who want to live this way like you want to live, right? That's how we spread and create a ripple in a very much bigger way. And those who choose to make their own ripples is another story, of course, in a corporate or in a career coach. But in my opinion, I think you should, I find it best to bring on every single person. I invite every single person in my challenge groups to be on my team. And look at the awesome people that came out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also think it's worth noting that a lot of really top coaches said they started for a discount and were only discount for like, some of them like a whole year. And then they decided to run with it. So you really don't know. I would never discount anybody. And I forget what training this was, but I recently kind of started thinking of my discount coaches more as VIP team members, like VIP customers or something, where it's like, I just make sure they feel really connected. They can do as many challenge groups as they want. You know, they're on my coaching team page, so they see the action that happens with coaching. And I have had one already or two say, oh, I'm seeing all that people are like being successful and I want to do this. Let's have a meeting. And they change their mind. So yeah, you never know.
Do you let everyone come back into challenge groups again and again, or do you sort of reserve that for the VIP discount coaches?
If it's just a challenger, you mean? I typically do let them as long as they're still on Shakeology. But I do kind of, every time I do remind them of the coaching opportunity, and I do ask them for referrals and things like that. But I figure as long as they're on Shakeology, it's nice to have some people who are kind of, the longer they stay connected, the more likely that they might want to become a coach, you know? So, but I do make sure they're on Shakeology. I don't just let them like free, you know?
So what would you say to somebody who wasn't on Shakeology and they asked to keep joining? Because I've heard different opinions about that too. Like I've let people in, and I think that's what Bria's encouraged me to do. I just wonder, I'm starting to see a trend of some people just sticking around for a really long time, and I don't mind. But I feel like sometimes they're not as inclined to participate in the challenge group. So then you have like half the group is quiet. So then the new people go, well, everybody's quiet, so I'll be quiet.
Yeah.
But
and I think that's what happens. And that's why, because in the beginning, I let everybody in because I just figured I need as many contacts as possible and this is going to benefit me. But I think at a certain point, whenever it feels right to you, it's a good idea to be a little more strict about your challenge groups, because what happens when you have those people who just aren't invested and they're kind of just like tagging along, but they're not really participating, is that it takes the seriousness and the energy away from those who do want to take it seriously. And I want to keep my challenge groups as a place where people get the best results and everyone's a team player and everyone's taking it serious. And so when I say like, it's mandatory for you to give me your before and after pictures and your stats, and it's mandatory for you to check in with me once a week, like I mean it, because that's how they're going to get results. And I don't want them to be in a challenge group and come away with a mediocre testimonial. Like, oh, well, yeah, I did that, but it was like, okay, like nothing really happened, nothing really changed. Because it's not going to. If they're not on Shakeology and they're not invested and they're not really doing the workouts, then they're going to come away and it's going to be a reflection on my group. So I think it takes a while to get to that level where you feel confident doing that and where it works to do that. But like that's what you should be moving towards, because you want your groups. And then when people, not that you should write off the other people, like if the other people, you're still their coach if they have bought a program from you or whatever. So I just email those people once in a while and say like, hey, how's it going? Are you still doing the program? Like you can always repeat a group if you want. But when I invite people to my challenge group and they ask me how much it is and what's the deal, I say the cost of admission to my group is a challenge pack, and here's why, and here's all the awesome things that you get. And when you invest in a challenge pack, you get these benefits. You get my one-on-one coaching. I'm there for you the whole way. I'm going to be keeping track of you and holding you accountable, and you get the group support. And if you opt not to do a challenge pack, I'll still be your coach, but you won't get the benefit of that group energy and that like more focused accountability. And since I started explaining it that way, I've gotten a much greater percentage of people who are willing to try it at least once with Shakeology and just go all in.
Do you have that text, sort of that script in a document that we could put in our files?
Yeah, I'm sure I do. Yeah, I can find it, or I'll just rewrite it. Yeah.
I don't want to add to your workload, but I like the way you worded it, because I've stumbled on this a few times with people, and I think that's a really nice way to lay it out. Yeah,
and it also is nice because when you come across as really confident with the value of what you're offering, like we put a lot of time and energy into our challenge groups, or at least I do. And I'm working for the person, and if I was to be doing private health coaching, not that you have to be a private health coach by any means, but I would be able to charge like $100 an hour for my time. And and like I said, you don't have to be obviously a certified health coach, but your time is still valuable and you're still investing your energy into the group and your knowledge and your support. And so when you phrase it as like, this is an amazing deal, like you're only paying $140, and not only do you get all these products, but you get all this unlimited support that you wouldn't get anywhere else. Like if you were to pay a personal trainer or a nutritionist, you'd be paying that for 2 hours of time, So yeah.
Thanks, guys. Anyone else have a question at all for Rachel? Thank you so much, Rachel, for being on today. I really appreciate it. And I know the team took some good things away from what you had to say, and it's a great recording for us. So I hope you have an amazing trip. I know you're heading off on Sunday, and have a good dinner tonight. And thanks again to Team Fit to Shine, who was here with us tonight. And I'll just sign off with everyone, say goodbye. But if you are in the 2015 Diamond Group, if you could stick around for me for a few more minutes, that'd be great.
All right. Thank you. So great to talk to you guys.
Have a good night. Thank you. Go FTS, Fit to Shine. Oh, wow. Is everyone still on? Hi, guys. How's it going? Thanks, Danielle.
Okay.
Hey.
Am I here?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, there I am. Oh, I couldn't see myself. So I was like, am I still on? But obviously.
You're still on. Thanks for sticking around, guys. It's so nice to see you guys. I feel like we haven't, I know it's hard to always make team calls, but I think that I always find they're so valuable, I think, at the end, even if we're just connecting and feeling like you're a part of something again. And of course, like learning from, do you guys like learning from other coaches? Like, should I make that a habit for us? Like every other week, make sure I'm getting someone else as much as I can on here. Oh, no, maybe I'll stop recording. Thanks, Christine, for that. Okay, stopping.